Hi, I'm Simran.
And I'm Rosie.
Welcome to
Bluebird Whispers.
Thanks for tuning in.
Hey Bluebirds, thanks for tuning into Bluebird Whispers.
Welcome to our very first podcast episode. So, this episode is more of an introduction style where you will learn a little bit more about us and why we decided to start our podcast. But first, Rosie, do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Of course! Well, my name is Rosie, I am 18 years old and I live in Barcelona, Spain. Ever since I was little, I have loved animals and nature. And that is why I always appreciate moments when I'm outside of the city, both in nature or just enjoying little pieces of nature that I see around me. Every summer I go camping, and how I love to walk in the forest or seeing the trees, smelling the sea. And I love the feeling of my hair and face being in the wind and hearing the crickets all around me. Many times I've suffered from eco-anxiety, and I think many other young people have felt that as well. Also a feeling of helplessness. And that is why when I was in high school, I started to question many things around me, making flyers and talking with classmates about climate change and environmental issues. I've always been interested in sustainability, and I'm currently aspiring to be an environmental journalist. That is why I'm studying English. Or I hope to find a way to be able to combine my passion for writing and my passion for saving the planet. So that is why I wish to help raise awareness on things that are happening around us in a fun and creative way. And I hope to inspire you to learn and think, to debate and question, and especially for you to then educate others however you feel fits best about the essential things we need to look at in order to ensure a green, livable, and sustainable future for all. Now, Harsey, tell me a bit about yourself.
Okay then. Hey, my name is Simran Kaur and I'm 20 years old. I reside in Ontario, Canada, and I'm an undergrad student studying environmental science, minoring in digital arts and communication and parks. So, how did I get into environmentalism? My inspiration was Greta Thunberg. I first read her book, No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference, back in high school, I think. And ever since I read it, it's been a huge eye opener because of the ways she talks about how in a few years there climate change would be irreversible, and that really scared me. And I just wondered, why is no one really doing anything about it? Like, everyone's talking about climate change, but no one's doing anything, no one's taking any action. Things just seem to be getting worse. So that's why we're here today. And also, another book that has been a huge inspiration to me is another book by Greta Thunberg called The Climate Book. Now, this book is not just any basic climate book. It dives into climate change through the around the world. Like, it takes the different challenges that everyone's facing in different countries and it explains things with facts by scientists around the world. So that's another book that I would highly suggest anyone pick up. So there were a couple reasons why I wanted to join Rosie in this podcast. And one was so we could give you a space to learn about the beauties of nature and why we should preserve biodiversity and our environment. We want you to fight for a greener future. We want you to fight for Mother Nature, and we want you to fight for our environment. Okay, so Rosie, would you want to tell us why we wanted to start this podcast?
Yes, of course. So, both Harsey and I feel that there aren't any intriguing or youth-based podcasts out there that touch on climate and Earth from youth's perspective, and that's why I wanted to start this one.
Now you guys might be wondering, why did we decide to name our podcast Bluebird Whisperers? Well, this name kind of it came out of nowhere. I remember Rosie mentioned Rio, the movie Rio, and she talked about how the blue bird in Rio is extinct, and I kind of was taken back because I was like, I didn't know it was extinct.
The bluebird is a symbol of an animal that's already gone extinct. So I think what we want to try to represent with the bluebird is just hope and just happiness and just the positive part of this whole climate emergency. And also, I feel like it's important to mention a song called "We Tried" by Lewis Harris. And in the song, she says so take me where the bluebirds sing, and that's basically, I think that sums us up as well, because it's like we're trying to be like the hope for the youth, and hopefully we can inspire other people, not only young people, like all ages of course, to just take action and do anything they can and just educate themselves and just that it's really important because it is our future we're talking about. And yeah, also with the movie, of course, Blue, the bird, who's really
Yes,
cute,
I
but
think.
it's so sad that they're extinct. But maybe they're not extinct. We're going to talk about that later.
But before we dive in, I think you perfectly captured the reason why we named it Bluebird. Also, the reason why we decided to add whispers at the end, which might be a little bit
Yeah, that's true.
off track, but we decided to add it because for us it was like kind of like a symbolism of how the bluebird was extinct. And so we wanted to be the informers, the voices on behalf of the bluebird. Like the
Yeah.
bluebird is whispering all the environmental issues to us, and we're just here using our platform to tell you guys what you can do and why you need to fight for our environment. So that is why we decided to name it Bluebird Whisperers. And so now, talk about the extinction though. Is the bluebird extinct?
I don't
Or is
know.
it
Is
not?
it?
Well, Spix macaw, which is the name of the bluebird, the Spix macaw was discovered in 1832 by Johann Baptist Ritter von Spix in Caatinga, Brazil. Now, the birds were then rediscovered because at first they didn't really know much about the birds. They didn't really pay attention to them. But they were then rediscovered in the 1980s. And by then, only 3 species of these birds remained in the wild, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
By 1990, there was only 1 male Spix macaw remaining in the wild. And by this year, the conservationists declared the bird effectively extinct in the wild. It wasn't 100% for sure. The status wasn't fully extinct or declared extinct until the 2000s. That's when the International Union for Conservation of Nature formalized the status of the Spix macaw to be extinct.
So, why were these species driven to extinction? Well, basically, all of that happened because of the threats of habitat degradation as farms and livestock pastures expanded across Caatinga, and the illegal pet trade, which picked up speed in the 1960s and 1970s. However, it was captive birds which fueled the species' revival in the wild. The article states, and I quote, "The Spix macaw's reintroduction is the first parrot reintroduction that used the surrogate species concept and what's called the mixed species flock concept to maximize the probability of success. The bird was seen flying in Caatinga, Brazil in June 2023. Oh my god!
So it is back.
It's
back in the wild.
That's wild.
Exactly.
You see, there's hope.
There is hope, exactly.
Also, listener, whoever you are, remember this is our first time doing this. So we are both a bit nervous and both a bit not used to this, but we hope to learn every step of the way and to get better. And we hope you join us along on this journey, which would be really fun.
Mm-hmm. And just before we do end off, we also wanted to state that we both are currently in school. And so our posting schedule is we're striving for once a month to upload these podcast episodes. But sometimes those 1 episodes in the month might be a little bit dispersed, like a little bit scattered every month. But just please bear with us. Please support us.
Yes, please.
And we'll try our best.
And we will be surely posting every week on our social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. And yeah.
Oh yeah, and also yes, make sure you follow us on Instagram to get a sneak peek of our next podcast episode.
And also on TikTok and on YouTube and on all our platforms, which will be linked in the description in our Instagram profile. Yeah.
Okay.
And remember, someone once said,
"But what can I do? I'm just one person."
Said 8 billion people. 8 billion people. Remember, how many people are we on this planet? 8 billion. Every person, every single person, if they keep that mentality, what will that do? Nothing. Remember, every person can do something, and every little thing counts.
And you can simply start off by tuning into our podcast episodes, learning more about the environment through there, and trying to create some daily habits. Change something in your daily lives, because that is a great start.
And by listening to our podcast, you're already helping. Because you're not only educating ourselves, but you're helping me and Harsey, who are 2 aspiring young activists, to make a change in the world. So, yeah. don't know what else to say. But we hope you enjoyed our first introductory episode. We know it was short, but the next episodes will surely be longer. And yeah, we hope you
More
stick with us.
facts, more science coming your way, more art and poetry coming your way too.
Yeah,
Just
take a
a
look
little
at our
sneak
social
peek.
media. Well, we already say that. Sorry.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.